Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and I'm coming on today to do a video response for Wendy over at Hoodlums Times 4. I'll put her link down below. She has a wonderful channel. She does some beautiful junk journals. She does travel journals. She does Fibonacci flips. Great channel, so go check her out. So this is for you, Wendy. I hope it explains. I'm going to try not to make this too long. Okay, so her question was, how do I prepare my composition books for the Fibonacci? Last year I'd used altered composition books because that's what I had. I didn't want to go out and purchase anything. I just wanted to use what I had. One point I do want to make is if you are doing the Fibonacci, you do not have to have a special book to do it in, okay? It can be any book you want. Now, there are people that prefer specific books. They prefer maybe the Miguel Ruiz, which you can find at Barnes & Noble. Maybe they prefer the Midori Traveler's Notebook. Maybe they prefer what are those things called? Moleskines. It just all depends on what you're comfortable with. I happen to be comfortable with the composition book. I like it for numerous reasons. One being that I can decorate the cover any way that I want. And once I get the pages glued together, the book lasts me for 2 months. So at the end of the year, I end up with 6 composition books and with 2 months each in them. Okay, and then what I've done is wait on some of the books. Let me show you. Where did they go? Ah! Oh, they're on the shelf. Hello, right where they should be. And then what I do is I just take a little label, sorry for the glare. This one says March, April, 2015. So I put a label on the spine and, I decorate the cover like I want to. Sometimes I do the back, sometimes I don't. So yeah, it's just easy for me to use. And like I said, when I first started out, it's what I had readily available, so that's what I used. Let me just back up just a second, okay? The materials that you need are simply a composition book, any type. I happen to prefer Staples brand gridded. I do not have any, so I'm using what I have. And I glue 3 pages together to prevent bleed through, okay? Now, one of the questions Wendy asked me, and I guess the reason why she asked me to show you how I go about gluing my pages together, sorry for this shadow too, it's just the camera's up there and that's just the way it is. But anyway, the reason she asked me was because she, when she looks through my flip throughs, it appears as though I don't have wrinkles on my paper. So she wanted to know how I go about gluing my pages together, which I'll show you in a moment. And a little alert, they do wrinkle, okay? And I'll show you that in a second in the book that I'm preparing now. They do wrinkle. However, once you get the stuff on the page, you don't notice it, okay? Over here on this page, this is actually a piece of note paper that I glued on top of, so you can't see any wrinkles there. This one is not, okay? I'm sure that there are wrinkles on here, but once I get all of my stuff on here, you can't, you don't notice it at all. So it doesn't bother me, okay? It does not bother me. On here, see, there are probably, I can feel wrinkles on it. So I know there are wrinkles on it. But like I said, once you get all your stuff done and you've gotten your decorating done, then you can't really tell. The other reason I enjoy using composition books is because, look, they end up being pretty thick, I put tip-ins in. If I get mail, I put envelopes in. See, I have an envelope there. Here, again, I put little tip-ins in. I glue clip art in. I put stickers in. Sometimes I paint, sometimes I don't. So yeah, a lot of stuff goes into these books and it makes them, rather thick. I've never had a book break on me. I've never had a spine break on me. I've never had any of that stuff. So that's that. Now, again, the reason why I like to, let's see over here. glue the pages together is it because it makes them more thick. It makes them almost like the weight of a lightweight cardstock, and I like that, okay? So that's why I do it. It just makes it more sturdy and nothing bleeds through at all. You do have to be careful if you're going to watercolor though, because if you're heavy-handed with the water, it will pill the paper. I mean, we are talking simply construction paper, so, or not construction, I'm sorry. We're just talking regular notebook paper, so it's not all that sturdy. Now, on this book here, I did not glue the pages together. I just simply put washi tape down the side, and I did that because I was lazy, but I don't like it because the pages do not become thicker, okay? They're still the same thin paper, but it's something with the glue and gluing them together that makes them, you know, more sturdy to draw on, okay? So I can't tell you either how much it costs me or whether it's really all that much more cost effective to do it this way than it is to get the Miguel Ruiz, because I think yesterday I was trying to figure it out, and between the book itself and all the glue that I use, which I use a lot, the price is probably comparable to a Miguel Ruiz or, you know, something of that nature. So, but it is cheaper than, like, or less expensive, I should say, than getting like a Moleskine, you know, because the Moleskines that I've seen on Amazon are anywhere from $10 to $20 a piece. I don't know how much fits into one of those. So anyway, I know this works for me. So here we go, Wendy. Hope I explain it well enough. Okay, so the materials you need again are a regular composition book. You will also need wax paper. You will need glue. I prefer to use this purple Elmer's glue just because I can then see where I'm gluing. These are also the smaller ones, so you can pick up the fatter ones or whatever. I think I'm going to try the fatter ones later or at a different time. But anyway, I have those. And then this I'm going to use, which is just a regular file folder to put in between the pages and my wax paper so that I have something flat to roller on. Now, once I put the glue down here, then I use my brayer, okay, just a regular brayer, and I, you know, flatten it out as best as I can, okay? Once I finish, I put glue all over the page, okay? I'm not going to do it now because how fun is that for you to watch me glue a page? But I could. Let's just go ahead. Okay, so I take this. Oops, I need my wax paper. I take my wax paper, sorry for the noise, stick it in there so that I don't get glue everywhere. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so there we have it. Pull it, you know, tight or whatever. And then I just take the glue. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. Cannot be helped. I take the glue and I glue, and I glue the entire page, okay? I glue the whole page, trying to make sure that I get glue everywhere. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. It, you know, it doesn't bother me at all. And again, I will be on the sides of the paper here, I'll be putting washi tape, okay? And that's just for decoration, and that is just to use up my washi tape, so, and to make it look pretty. So I take this and I put the glue all over the whole page. Try to put it all over the whole page anyway. You know, make it all purple. That's why I use the purple, so I can tell where it has been glued. Okay. Then I take my second page and I just, you know, putting a little bit of pressure, I go from the center out and I smooth it down. Okay. Try to as best as I can. All right. Then I roll it, putting pressure on from the inside out. I roll it, roll it, roll it. Okay. I do it that way. and then I go right into gluing this page. Let's get this dirt off there. Then I glue this page all over like I just did, flip this page, roll it all out, and then in the end, what I do after I've done that and get the dirt off, then I take my trusty dictionary, my big, thick, heavy dictionary, and I just set it right on top and I leave it there. Sometimes I put more books on there to have, you know, more pressure. And that is how it's done. That's how I do it. And there are times when I'm trying to get the book done, which will probably be this week because I won't be here next week. But I'll just get like 5 sheets of the, whatchamacallit, the wax paper. I'll just get, you know, multiple sheets of wax paper and do several sets at a time. Like I'll do 5 sets of gluing 3 pages together. And then I have it all, you know, when I have those sets glued, I then put a stack of books on top and leave it for a whole day to dry totally, completely, okay? Now, I will tell you again, I get wrinkles, you know. I know it appears as though my pages are flat. Let me move this out of the way. But they are not. They are not flat, and there are wrinkles. And but once, you know, like I've said, once you get all of your stuff on here, then it's really, you cannot tell, you know, that there were wrinkles. Over here I used this and I painted with ink tents, and it worked out fine. Again though, the reason I like to glue them together is because it makes them thick, and I have a thicker substrate to work on rather than just a single sheet of notebook paper. This one happens to be, I think, a Staples gridded notebook, which I really like. You know, so yeah, and I use a variety of stuff in here. I use magazine clippings, I use stickers, I use colored pencils, I use flare pens, I use Sharpie pens for my headers up here. I use micron pens. I use Sharpies, did I say? I use Posca markers. I use a variety of different pens and media on here, and it doesn't really seem to do anything horrible to the page. So yeah, like I said, there are wrinkles in here, but you can't really tell because once you put all your stuff on it, you just can't tell. Okay, so that's why I decided to go back to my composition books to finish out the year for this year, because I really enjoy using them. They're just, I don't know, I found my Hobonichi or Fobonichi piece, and I like doing it this way. I like the thickness of the paper. Nothing bleeds through. I've never had, I don't know if I already said this or not, I've never had an instance where the pages have ripped out. The binding has never come undone. Okay, the binding has never come undone. It does get thick and warped a bit, but nothing has ever broken. And I have 6 books that, you know, and they take a beating now, don't get me wrong. Like on the edges, you know, I have, you know, they're beaten up a bit, but you know, oh well, that's no big deal to me. So anyhow, I hope that helped you out, Wendy, and I hope you will try it. And oh, also, if you don't have, you know, a brayer to, you know, roly-poly it out, whatever you call it, to roll it out, I have used in the past, let me get one out. I have used in the past, like just, you know, a credit card to, you know, to flatten it out. Here's one more point. I know this is going on longer than I wanted it to, but I wanted to make sure to tell you. Okay, in a regular book, okay, oh, this isn't a good one to use. Let me show you something else. Let me see. Okay, here's one. Okay, so in a regular composition book, okay, what I do is I find the center, okay, and it's stitched down the center. So I glue the first half of the book, laying the paper this way and gluing it here on the left-hand side, okay? Then I flip the pages this way and flatten them out, okay? Because that's just the way the page naturally goes, and you can get the glue here in the center and all of that stuff. Once you get to the center mark, what I do is I flip the book backwards, okay, and I work that way, okay? So the paper naturally lays flat, and you can get the glue in the seam or close to the seam and glue it this way and then flatten it out to the right hand side, okay? If that makes any sense at all. Because if you'll notice, there's a bump here, okay? It doesn't get in the way of Fibonacci when you begin to, you know, decorate your pages and stuff. It doesn't bother me, but when you're gluing, it's hard to get the glue on that bump there. So that's why in the front of the book, I work going that way. You know, like I said, I lay the paper this way because this way it naturally lays flat. Once I get to the center, I go to the very back of the book and I work on it going to the right hand side. So because these pages naturally lay flat. When I've got it all glued together, okay, and periodically in between, I will close the book up and lay it flat and stack books on top of it in order to weigh everything down and to flatten it out a little bit more. But I do that periodically through, and I do it at the very end just to make them more flat. And I think I'm going to try to do a few more videos, maybe 1 or 2 more videos, kind of like a process video. Here, I'll put some of these out here. A process video on how I do like my headers and stuff like that, and how I go about setting my books up. So look for that in the future. And again, thank you for the question, Wendy, and I hope that I answered it. If anybody ever has any questions on how I do things or where I get my ideas or anything like that, please list them below in the comments and I'd be glad to do a video response for you. Thanks for watching and spending your time with me, and I'll catch you next time.